Hey guys, what's going on? Sharp Thinking. Real quick, I wanted to do a video comparing the Military 1, the original, this one is in M4 with the Jade G10, to our Military 2 up here, which this is the 15V from Triple B, as you can see there. So these guys have been out for a while, the Military 2, that is, I think a year or 2 years. So I'm a little late to the game here, but I wanted to make this video because I am the military guy, according to a lot of people. And that's not like I was in the military. I am the Spyderco military guy. So we're going to talk about both of these today, and we're going to talk about this guy a little bit. This is just the PM2. Now, getting into it, the blades, luckily, are very, very similar. It's like a 4-inch distal taper. I love the blade shape. They're both, phenomenal cutters. Basically the exact same thickness behind the edge. I don't know why, but the military blade, the original, looks taller. And I actually think it is taller by just maybe a hair. But I've actually never noticed that, but could be an optical illusion. I could be just losing my mind here. It's been a long day, but it appears taller. Here, I'll switch them just so you guys can see. I don't know. Could be angles. Who knows? But same overall length. So it's a 4-inch distal taper. Like I said, 4mm thick. And man, what a beautiful cutter. It's what everybody knows and loves on the PM2, except this is a 3.4-inch blade. Same blade stock thickness, it's 4mm. But yeah, tried and true. People love it. I love it. Can't go wrong with that. Moving on to the Choil. We have a real kind of full Choil this time, which is nice, I think. I don't really use Choils all that much. I guess it kind of depends on the knife. If it's, like this hinderer here, and the knife is primarily Choil, I'll be more inclined to use it. But on something like the military, at least in the Military 1, my primary grip on this is just kind of like this, or hammer grip. Just, brute forcing it and making heavier cuts that way. So on a knife like this, I probably wouldn't use this too much. You could get a little bit closer up on the blade, but it's still a pretty long blade. I think on the Para 3, yeah, Para 3, that is what it's called. I thought I called it the Paramilitary 3, which is a no-go. There goes a motorcycle. It is a little bit more, I would say, appropriate, at least in my own use. It's been a while since I've owned a Para 3, but when I did, I used the Choil. I distinctively remember. Going on to the handle construction between the Para 2 and this guy are going to be about identical, and that is from thickness to hardware to the shape of the lasered cutouts, or that could be water jet. I'm really not sure. In the scales, the nested liners, that's what I'm referring to here. Let me see if you'll be able to catch them there. Those little cutouts there are the same shape. I don't know if they're the same dimension exactly. Somehow they did get this to weigh about the same as the original military, which is quite a feat. This has full liners, this is partial. So you can see here, one of the perks of this Jade is we can see that front liner is very small. Basically just connects all the screws, and you can see that milled out part there. And then our lock, which is full, pretty much no cutouts on that. And that, again, just gives screws a place to go through and provides a liner. So pretty simple on this. Obviously, we have a different lock on our Military 2, and that is our compression lock, which lots of guys love. I think that it is objectively a stronger lock than the military, but objectively stronger and a lock I like more are not things that are necessarily correlated. I do like strong locks, of course. Who doesn't? But I like liner and frame locks. I've always been a fan. To me, it's just adds to the feel of the knife. You know, I don't know. It's just one of those things. It's a preference of mine. I know I'm in the minority here, but I do know that a large number of military guys, I gotta find a new way to say that, not military guys. Guys who like the military are voicing similar complaints to me. And this is not a real complaint, but I miss the liner. I have noticed that these have been getting more and more expensive rapidly in stores. So I checked the price on these at River's Edge Cutlery when I was there, and these are up to $270 for an S30V version, and these are only $220. So not sure what's going on there. You would think that R&D costs would bump this guy right up there with it, but I guess not. Moving on, so obviously our lock is a pretty big difference here. A lot of guys are going to like the compression lock more. I get it. I don't think these have God, fuck. Let me slow down. I don't think these have bushing pivots. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I've had one of these apart. I know for a fact they have a D-shaped pivot, or a portion of the pivot is D-shaped. This has a bushing, so it's going to be a little bit more forgiving to adjustment. You can really crank the pivot down, and it should, in theory, still fall shut. Now with DLC blades, that's going to be different. Sometimes they will, sometimes they won't, but the DLC actually adds a little bit of thickness to the washer area, causing them to be traditionally a little bit more stiff. Now, getting into the clip, this is something that many people did not like about the original military. I personally liked it. I think on knives like the SOCOM and this military, it definitely makes sense. When I was younger, at least, would carry this guy in my back pocket. People have voiced concerns that someone could pluck it and kill me with it, and I would be none the wiser. I can assure you that has not yet happened to me, although it's possible. Could happen tomorrow, could happen next week. I have no idea. But we did get a 4-position pocket clip here. These days, I'm just carrying this guy in my front pocket with my phone, and, tough. If it breaks my screen cover, which I don't think it has, but that's all from work, just dropping it and stuff. But yeah, I don't know. Some people won't carry a knife in their front pocket. Let me know if you guys actually carry a knife in your front pocket with your phone, or if you put your phone somewhere else. But yeah, so getting into the ergos here, this is going to be kind of a subjective discussion. I do not think the ergos on the military 2 are as good as the ergos on the military 1. Now, I think the military 1 definitely had some things that could have been worked out better, but I think it had some things going for it, and that is if you hammer grip this knife up here, this adds a lot of surface area that will not hurt this kind of web of your hand here. Obviously it's basically entirely a surface that you could apply force to, is what I'm trying to say. When you remove surface area, it increases force in very direct points. And in my experience, and in practical EDC use, I think it's going to be kind of a stretch. But if I'm really gripping the compression lock, it gets old pretty fast. Now, how often am I doing that these days? Not that often. How often are you guys doing that? I don't know. But I do like the full like liners all the way down. I've always liked that more about the Military 2 when compared to the PM2 and the now Military 2. Getting down to this area of the handle, this has always been kind of a problem area of, I think, the entire lineup. I don't think it's doing anybody really any favors. In a store, if you pick up the knife or if you're just holding it, it feels comfortable. It gives you the impression and, you know, the visual appeal of something that is ergonomic. But I don't feel that either of these are providing a extremely ergonomic actual handle. I mean, if you have gloves on or something like that, that's one thing, but this will rub like kind of parts of your hand that don't often get contacted, and those are spots that blister in my experience. But yeah, I mean, again, I'm probably gonna get called a pussy or whatever, but that's been my experience. I've had blisters all over my hands. You guys can see I got some calluses. I'm not, you know, it's not my first day working with tools, and you know, whatever. If you want to comment something, feel free. I'll bite back. But I don't know. It's just, I always think it's been a problem area, and it's funny. Knives like this and like this with these real flat areas here, these are some of the better ergonomic knives in my opinion, which you wouldn't think, you know, something shaped like a coffin basically would be very ergonomic. But when you get it in your hand and you really grip on it, that flat area is actually super ergonomic, and it doesn't push into the center of your palm, which is one of the more sensitive areas of the hand, as much as something like this, which is kind of right in there. But yeah, I mean, again, it's subjective. It is just my opinion. And of course, people could make an argument, hey, well, you've removed half of the scale down here. Well, I would encourage you to think about physics and the way that a knife would behave when gripped, and you know, when experiencing positive pressure on the cutting edge, which is pressure upward. So this is going to tilt back, and then force is going to be applied here, and force is going to be applied here. So it's going to, you know, sink back in your hand. Now, could you just grip the shit out of it and, you know, oh, hot spot there? Yeah, you could, but I don't think it's as likely of a scenario in real use, unless you're, honestly, I don't know what you could be doing to get this to affect you in the way that reducing the surface area back here does. But yeah, and then you also get this thin kind of spot here, which is, again, maybe I'm being picky, maybe I'm nitpicking. Let me know in the comments. But yeah, I don't know. Are they both great knives? In my opinion, yes. I think both of them are fantastic EDC knives. I have my preference, which is probably because I'm an old, grumpy man at the age of 27. This is just what I'm used to. But I have been carrying this guy a little bit, and I have to say, it's holding its own. I haven't put it through quite as much as I would like to. But once we reach that point, you'll see it in my conclusive analysis video of the knife. But yeah, guys, that's all I got today. Again, I really think that these two knives are more similar to each other than this to the Military. I don't know. I mean, again, you can say it all you want, or I can say it all I want, but it's like, what direction would they take it? You know, it's like, would they call this the Paramilitary 2 XL? No, they wouldn't. In no world would they do that. they didn't do it with the Para 3. So it's just, you know, I feel like I knew this was coming, and I don't know, maybe I'm reading too much into it. I will always miss my military, my original liner lock military. I hope they do not discontinue it, but if they do, I'll have to snag a couple just to keep backups. But that's all I got for you guys today. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video. Bye now.